Now, week 4 of the Trump trial. And boy, time flies when you're constantly falling asleep in court, doesn't it? But I can guarantee you Trump didn't nap during today's testimony, which brings us to our latest installment of America's Most Tremendously.
Because Stormy Daniels took the stand today, the Donald Trump trial saw its most significant development to date. Since Trump's current situation is a goldmine for comedians and his detractors, Kerr is known for embarrassing him whenever he gets the chance. He has not held back and has humiliated him for almost everything that occurs in his illegal hush money trial. Stormy Daniels, the porn actress rumored to have had a sex encounter with Donald Trump in 2006, testified. The former president was, as one might expect, deeply embarrassed by the testimony. Miss Daniels went into great detail about the experience, talking about everything from Trump's silky black pajamas to his kink, after getting a spanking on the bottom of a magazine.
Today was the biggest day yet in the trial of Donald Trump because today, Stormy Daniels herself took the stand.
Anyone would have felt uncomfortable and unable to swallow after hearing the demeaning comments she made. Jordan Klepper responded precisely like this before destroying everything about Trump.
Daniels testified that when she first entered Trump's hotel suite, he greeted her wearing silk pajamas. She says she joked that he stole Hugh Hefner's pajamas and asked him to change, which he did.
It was challenging for news reporters to discuss the testimony on national television since it was so detailed. Take a look at this video.
That poor magazine.
When the anchors attempted to discuss the testimony on live air, Jordan Klepper made them appear ridiculous.
In the courtroom, our reporters in there are sending us notes, updates every second that they can. And Mr. Trump's defense attorney, Susan Nichols, is saying, quote, "We're informed the second witness today will be Stormy Daniels. We want to renew our objection to her testifying particularly about any details of any sexual acts." That is Mr. Trump's attorney. The prosecutors is also saying, quote, "In terms of the sexual act, it will be very basic."
And wait till you hear what Daniels had to say if you thought the 4 hours of testimony had nothing but details about clothes and spanking. Daniels once stated that, before their sexual encounter, I guess Trump was willing to talk about incest. After learning of these gory allegations, Jordan Kerr embarrassed Trump by referring to him as arguably the worst parent figure in history, demonstrating his amazement.
Oh, come on, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Acting like you're too good for this, like you've never seen genitalia before, all right? You're very prudish for people whose names sound like porn names. Jake Tapper and Dana Bash in State of the Union. Yeah, They're gonna smear Kanish all over your Wolf Blitzer, you know?
He went on to claim that it's incredible that Trump, with his troubled past and odd behavior with the kinks, was able to entice Stormy Daniels into a meeting with him.
Daniels testified that at one point prior to them having sex.
In closing, Klepper expressed his cynical dissatisfaction with Trump, damaging his reputation.
Hashtag girl dad. Look, I know it's old news to us that Donald Trump wants to smear Kanish's daughter, but remember, the court worked hard to find an unbiased jury, which means there's at least one person on there who was in a coma for the last 10 years.
And this is hardly the only instance in which Klepper has utterly demolished Trump. Despite the judge's repeated warnings, Trump was able to secure a gag order against him during the same hush money prosecution because he was unable to stop talking about the case. He was forbidden by the order from speaking about the case anywhere, putting everyone in danger, including the parties, the court, the prosecutors, the witnesses, and the public. But Trump is such a moron that he ignored the directive 10 times. Yes, he had 10 warnings, but he ignored them.
It was a pretty wild and intense hearing on Donald Trump's gag order. It all turned into a very heated exchange between the judge and Trump lawyer Todd Blanche, who argued that Trump is being very careful. Well, a clearly frustrated Judge Merchan responded, "Mr. Blanche, you're losing all credibility with this court."
Minutes after the hearing ended, Trump attacked the judge on social media, calling him a kangaroo court.
Nevertheless, Jordan Card took the opportunity to mock him for his ignorance.
Let's kick things off right here in New York City, where week 3 of the Donald Trump hush money trial kicked off with a stern warning for the defendant in chief.
We just got that decision from the judge on whether or not Donald Trump has in fact violated his gag order again. And the judge has decided that yes, Donald Trump has now violated it for the 10th time.
Furthermore, this was not all he had to say.
Wow. This guy is incapable of keeping his mouth shut for 2 minutes. Has Trump ever considered paying himself hush money? I mean, think about it. But this is a complicated issue about balancing rights. Basically, the prosecution's argument is that a juror has the right to feel safe while serving on Donald Trump's jury, while Donald Trump's argument is that that juror lives at 34 West 52nd Street.
How stubborn Donald Trump can be is astounding. Trump was sitting back and yelling on Truth Social, breaking the gag order once more, during a session in which his attorney, Todd Blanche, was battling tooth and nail to persuade the judge that Trump had not. Trump was making a mockery of the law in the courtroom, so the judge finally decided to take action after 10 consecutive infractions and $10,000 in fines. The judge was so incensed with Trump that he threatened to put him in jail if he disobeyed the order one more time. CER expressed disappointment that the judge threatened to impose jail time only after 10 infractions.
You've done it now, Donald. If you violate that gag order for an 11th time, the judge is going to really consider jail time. I mean, he's strongly contemplating the possibility of consequences for your actions. Oh, just one more chance.
Then, in an attempt to highlight how absurd it is that a judge is permitting Trump to consistently disobey the law, he likened Trump to a kid.
I get that no judge wants to throw a former president into the slammer, but Donald Trump has the mind of a toddler. If there's one thing a toddler understands, it's that when mom and dad start counting like 9, 9 and a half, 9 3/4, the brat has already won.
Jordan Kerr continued the conversation on May 7, 2024, talking about how Trump is looking for a running mate. Klepper was certain to make some amazing comments about this, as usual. And when Trump expressed his thoughts regarding potential running mates, one of them really jumped out.
Wow. Subtle. Byron Donalds, I like diversité. What a clever way to say that he's black. And maybe French? I don't know. Diversité sounds like the name of a stripper Trump once slept with. I have no evidence of that, of course. Maybe because he paid her that hush money.
Watch this video clip. Even though Donald Trump gives his senators and potential running mate a lot of credit, they are still backing him independently. The startling thing is that, before the votes even closed, one of the candidates, Senator Tim Scott, defied the results of the 2024 election, taking it to a whole new level of insanity.
You commit to accepting the election results of 2024, bottom line.
Well, at the end of the day, the 47th president of the United States will be President Donald Trump, and I'm excited to get back to low inflation, low unemployment.
Wait, Senator, yes or no? Yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter who wins?
That is my statement.
But is it just yes or no? Will you accept the election results of 2024?
Senator Tim Scott made a terrible and embarrassing statement, to which Kerr responded as follows. They are so far into sucking up to Donald Trump that they can't even give a simple yes or no answer.
This is how humiliating it is to be on Trump's team. Normal questions become trick questions. Do you accept the election results? Should you look directly into an eclipse? This is not a hard question. It's like when the band comes out and says, "Are you ready to party?" Just say yes and enjoy Imagine Dragons like a responsible adult.
However, how can the Republicans educate their MAGAs to launch strikes similar to the one that happened on January 6th? Tim Scott is not even the worst of the lot. Kristi Noem, another MAGAs, wrote about killing her 14-month-old pet and used this as evidence of her ability to make decisions. To me, this heinous deed simply serves to demonstrate that she is an animal abuser and a terrible person. Naturally, Jordan Klepper feels the same way.
I'm not a political expert, but I think if I had to give a politician advice, I would say the top thing is to not shoot your puppy. The second top thing would be to not write about shooting your puppy.
Even though he continued to give her the benefit of the doubt, their mutually beneficial relationship ended in humiliation and hopelessness.
In the book, Noam says she shot and killed her 14-month-old puppy named Cricket for bad behavior.
Noam describes leading the 14-month-old dog to a gravel pit to be shot after concluding it was less than worthless, untrainable.
Noam posting this response on X saying, "We love animals, but tough decisions like this happen all the time on a farm."
That is not an excuse, Christino. You can't just go around executing puppies and say, well, that's life on a farm.
It's mind-boggling how Donald Trump can keep such people in consideration for his running mate. But if we consider Trump's history of dumbness and the sheer stupidity that he exhibits at every chance he gets, it's understandable why he would have an arrogant man like Tim Scott and a dangerous animal-abusing woman like Christine Noem on his team. After all, you never know when the need to destroy another public building like the U.S. Capitol may arise. The fact is that Trump has lost his mind because of the plethora of legal troubles he is in. And it seems that he is whining and crying about anything and everything that comes into his wicked mind. The most shocking part about all of this is that MAGA fans, even the educated ones, are content with this and believe that the man who looks like he was spray-painted orange is the right choice for America. But despite the fan following, his legal troubles can very well land him in jail. His hush money trial has come to an end, and it's just a matter of time before the ruling comes out. What do you think? When the election comes, will Trump be able to avoid these 34 lawsuits filed against him? Kindly inform us using the space provided for comments below. Please click the bell icon and subscribe button if you like this video, so that you can be notified when we upload our next one. Thank you for taking a peek.